Good evening, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. Joy, would you please call the roll?
Hallie.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Revelinsky.
Yes.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We have one addition from Councilman Howley about notification of upcoming leadership training. We'll do that in the committee reports. Any other changes or additions to this evening's agenda? Not, we'll move to our consent agenda. We have approval of minutes from the March 28th council meeting, approval of the April 8th 2016 payroll in the amount of $87,949.51. We have approval of the March finance report, approval of the use of permit for Central Park for both the Fairfield Friends Church and also the Spees Popejoy wedding. We have a resolution for employment for lifeguards and the Park and Rec Department, and approval of claims in the amount of $322,133.11. Any questions regarding those consent agenda items, Council? Yes, Tom.
Like on the Speed's wedding, and I don't know what the customary process is, but for somebody using the park like that, I mean, in other words, if they go to a church or some other building, they have to pay a fee. They have to pay a rental fee. Do we charge anything for that?
I don't believe we do. There may be a minimal park application fee, but I'm not aware of a special fee for weddings or.
Well, or just any use. I mean,
Right.
and I guess what I'm looking at is, okay, if I want to go to,
For private use in particular.
yeah, well, particularly,
Right.
but I
If it's a
mean, if I
public
go to
event.
Jefferson County Park,
Right.
and I want to rent it for a family reunion, say, I have a fee I have to pay for that. Because
Don't we do that for like picnic areas at Chautauqua or something? They're rented, right?
Yeah.
And, but the wedding
Shelter fee,
the wedding is where? At
Yeah.
Central Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's no fee for that because we never started that.
But I guess I'm looking at it from,
Yeah.
we have cost.
Sure.
Okay, we have people that have to clean up.
Electricity?
Whatever it is.
Maybe Ways and Means should look at that.
It's okay. I'll be glad. Well, we'll have a meeting right now if you'd like. So,
You want to suggest a fee?
well, I don't know. I mean, but again, like a church or something else like that, or the Elks, or
They all make a charge.
They all have a charge. I mean, normally it's someplace and then it'd be like $50 to $100, I think. So,
It's a pretty unique request. Mike and I were talking about it today. We really couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't remember
don't-
anything that we've
I don't
approved,
remember.
and I don't know whether I'm not sure that everything has always come to council that Park and Rec has approved, but I don't remember seeing them either. Most of what we do and approve are public events.
Yeah.
So
Again, and I'm not
there
saying
is
I'm
definitely
opposed to it,
something
just the
towards
fact that we have I mean, we have some people that have to get involved in getting it ready, possibly getting it cleaned up afterwards.
For sure.
I mean, that's why these other places, and in a sense, we're competing with them at this point. You know.
Very good. Well, I would say let's look at approval of what we've been asked for this evening. Probably important for their wedding planning, but get it.
Well, yeah.
Get that before our Ways and Means Committee, Tom, and
Okay.
look at including that in our fee structure. Any other questions about the consent agenda? Okay. If not, entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Moved by
Second.
Rasmussen, second by Anderson. Please call the roll.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Revelinsky.
Yes.
Hallie.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Next council for our public appearances is Jamie Mueller here. Okay, Jamie? And you know what? I have a copy of your proclamation back on my desk. Joy, would you mind running back? It's right on the desk. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
As said, my name is Jamie Mueller, and I'm a sexual assault advocate for Crisis Intervention Services. We're located on Oskaloosa, but kind of cover the 12 surrounding counties of the area, so Jefferson County being one of those. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, so we try to do as much as we can throughout our communities in our service area. You may see ribbons tied around the trees in the square. We were approved, I think, for the last week of April for Jefferson, or for Fairfield. You may see some displays, our posters. We have stickers throughout the community at businesses that are willing to put them on their cups or pizza boxes. We also have an event tomorrow. We call it Reveal the Teal. And we just kind of offer people to, or ask people to wear a teal piece of clothing or just a teal ribbon of some sorts, and then send it to us, and we actually have a drawing, and you can win a contest of a $100 gift card. It's an importance to us that April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month because of the overwhelming amount of people that are affected by this. To bring it to perspective, 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will experience some form of sexual assault in their lifetime. And that's just what we know about. There's various cases that go unreported. And also, false reports for that crime are between 2 and 10%, which is pretty much right there with any other crime. I'm here today just to kind of thank you guys for your continuing support on behalf of Crisis Intervention Services. Fairfield has been an outstanding supporter for our mission. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jamie. We appreciate the work that you do, and we're happy to support April as Sexual Assault Month with a proclamation from the city. So council entertain a motion to approve the proclamation.
So moved.
Moved by Revelinsky,
Second.
second by Hamilton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Jamie,
Thank you.
Pick that up.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. This council, we have a request from Adam Plaguey on behalf of the Art Walk Board to have a beer garden at Central Park. And council, we did discuss this at the last meeting. If you can refresh us, Adam, and we ask that we just bring it fresh before the council this evening.
Yes, June 3rd will be the June Art Walk. We'll be celebrating international culture. From 6 to 10 p.m., we'd like to do a small beer garden on the northwest interior part of the square. That's right next to the center there where Jefferson County Green Band will be playing. It'll be permitted and insured by Cider Works. We'll have a security fence surrounding the sidewalk and all the sides. The gate will be on the north portion, and we'll give people wristbands after they've been checked for their ID. And we have the Narducci's here who own the Cider Works. If you have any questions for them, or if any questions for Art Walk, I can answer them.
Okay. Council, anything? Great. Again, I think we did discuss this. Go ahead, Tim.
Again, I guess I'm going to ask the same question I asked just previously about the wedding being there. I mean, so what does the city get out of this for offering the space and providing? I mean, I assume that the police is, there's going to be maybe not an extra cop, but there's definitely, more of a presence there.
Well,
I mean,
you guys are paying for the band as well, probably through local option sales tax. So I guess if you want to charge us and give us more money, I mean, we're a nonprofit. We're funded by the city and local businesses and nonprofits. Our mission is to provide entertainment and culture for the city. So, if you charge us a fee, I guess we'd pay the fee. But there's never.
So where does all the profit go back and go to this? Who does it go to?
Well, since this year, in the past for Oktoberfest, when we've done beer gardens in the past, KMCD has provided for free the fencing, and they've helped with the beer application. But we've had to put our own names on there to be insured. I think myself, I was on the insurance last year, and then a couple other board members were as well. This year, we'd prefer to have an establishment that has trained people to actually distribute alcohol and has the equipment put it up, particularly since KMCD's been sold. So that's why we're going to go with the Cider Works actually running the establishment. They'll be taking a portion of the revenue for their services, and we'll be taking the other portion to cover expenses and fund Art Walk.
And I think part of it, Tom, is that it's a public event. It is, and that's why we haven't had that question come up in the past, because it is open to the public. So that's.
You haven't applied online yet, have you, Adam?
And for other vendors,
Applied
Art
for-
Walk does.
The license.
He's not doing it inside of Texas.
Jesse's applying for it once we had approval from the city council. Is that correct?
Okay, because then it's got to come back to the city council.
Oh, it's got to come back again?
Yeah, so you better hurry if you want it by June 3rd.
I see.
Yeah.
The other thing, Tom, is they have a vendor fee for vendors that do sell merchandise and food at Art Walk. So we generally, allow them to keep the profit because that's what supports the organization going forward.
But it's First Friday's Art Walk, that organization that keeps that then?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. That's my understanding, Adam, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
John?
Mayor, I just want to explain my position to the NRGGs here so they're not surprised. No one else will be surprised. But I've taken the stance since beer gardens on the square came up a couple of years ago that I think beer gardens are great, but I think it's fine, but I prefer it not to be on public property. So I always vote no on them, so don't take a personal offense. This is a stance I always take.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions for Adam? Okay. If not, I entertain a motion to approve the request for the beer garden for the June 3rd Art Walk.
So moved.
Moved by Anderson.
Second.
Second by Hallie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign.
Aye.
Okay. 5-1, but that motion does pass. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to progress report from Doug Bacher. Doug? Council, we met with Mr. Bacher back in the fall about taking care of a property that he has at 206 West Adams. You have some photographs tonight that were provided by Bacher.
I have some too.
So Doug, thanks for coming. We know we gave you a list of things we hoped would be improved. How did you do over the winter? And
Well,
what's
I
going
didn't
on
make
there?
much progress over the winter. There was the furnace is completely shot, so there was no heat in the building, and so I didn't want to turn the water on or anything like that. Also, I didn't have the manpower available. Figured I'd leave it here. But we did start last month. I had the interior completely cleaned out. We had a dumpster out there and got everything out of the house, and then got rid of all the broken windows. And I ordered replacement windows for the whole building. I've had a plumber in there to replace the sewer stack going down into the basement slab. And he completed that. Also, I believe he took care of some water leaks from some frozen pipes. So that should be all done. The furnace is going to cost me about 11 grand total because I want to replace all the ductwork just because I'm not sure what kind of shape it's in, how old it is and everything. So I'm going to have to split that over a couple months. We'll do the ductwork over the next couple weeks. That way I can get a drywaller in there to hang all the drywall on the second floor and repair any drywall on the first floor. The second floor is gutted completely down to the bare studs so that we can re-drywall it. It was just paneling over plaster that had just fallen apart before. So, so we should be able to, we started putting in the new windows today, what I had, what was in stock. The rest of them actually came into Burlington today. I just got an email. So I'll get those sent over tomorrow or Wednesday, and hopefully we can start installing those by the end of the week. Once the ductwork is done, I have a little bit of electrical to do, but not much. Like I said, I should be able to get a drywaller in there. I have a drywaller right now, but he's working for me on another project, and he'll be done in about 2 or 3 weeks with that project. And then we have a gap where he can go in and get the interior moving for me. Once the drywall is done, it will only take a couple of weeks to have it up and either ready for a sale or rent. So the exterior is in really good shape right now. There's some siding that that I want to replace, and I'll probably put another coat of paint on it. That's all brand new fiber cement siding that was put on about 10, 12 years ago. But it's getting close to needing a little touch-up paint job, and that's about it. On the exterior, we also stripped the deck boards off the deck, and I'm going to replace those. I just haven't decided what kind of deck boards I want to use yet. So, but I did that while we had the dumpster there and everything. So, like I said, the exterior looks really good. The interior, looks very, looks good. It's just in order to have it rentable or sell it, I want to get the rest of the work done inside. So.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate the progress report. Council, any questions?
I would just ask what your proposed timeline is.
My mechanicals should be done by the end of April. Drywaller should be in there for a couple of weeks in May, and then I can do any finished trim work that needs to be done by the end of May, and then it'll be done. We have a gap right now before I start my next project, actually, which is allowing me to get in there and get all the windows in, so that worked out well. I don't start the next building I'm working on until April 24th. So, but the rest of the work will be done by other crews, so that won't be a problem.
So Doug, again, when your property was brought to our attention, a lot of it was really about the exterior of the property and closing up a lot of those areas where rodents and animals could get in. You've taken care of that. It's great. I think a lot of the interior work, it'd be fantastic to see that house get to a state where it can be usable again. Grass is growing. We're coming up to that season, and that was one of the other complaints that we had received. So if you keep up with mowing while all
I
this
have
work is
somebody
going on.
actually who mows it for me now, so,
Okay.
you know.
What do you anticipate doing with this house? I mean, is it going
Well,
to
we'll see when I get it done, it depends on what I think I can flip it for and whether or not I want to rent it. I'm not really the landlord type, so I'm not sure if I
So
want
it
to deal with
wouldn't be
that.
standing vacant any longer?
No, it'll either be rented or sold, one of the two, so.
Good. Well,
Like I
we
said, we see, how much it appraises at when I get it, finished, and if it's high enough to sell it, then I'll do so, and if not, then I'll rent it, so, sorry.
no, thanks, Doug. We appreciate your efforts because obviously we have more properties around town like this as well. We hope that you'll be a good example for us to point to of what's possible with some of these homes.
Is it secure now with locks?
Yeah, it's been secure for a while, but we just replaced one of the back doors just because it was in bad shape. It was fine, it was locked and everything, but it was a wood door and it was starting to, corrode and everything. The bottom was completely shot, so we replaced that today. And I think my guys got 4 new windows in today, and we've got 19 more to do, so we should be able to get that done, like I said, either end of this week or beginning of next week, so.
Okay. Doug, could you report to us at the end of June?
Yeah, that
so
would
it's
be
about
fine.
3 months. Scott,
Okay.
that'd be okay if we could monitor that until the end of June and maybe send Doug a reminder in middle of May that we'll get a full report. Hopefully we'll be finished by then. Great.
I'm gonna
Okay.
grab my receipt.
Yeah, right here.
Any other questions, council?
There you go, Doug.
Okay, thank you for coming, Doug. Appreciate it. Next, council, we move to our resolutions and action items. And the first is we have a corrective fund transfer that is directed by the State Audit Office. And I think we're going to have Joy explain to the council what this transfer is, why it's taking place, and then ask your approval.
Okay, we had 2 transfers. One was paid out of the TIF fund. It was for the 3.775, which we thought was going to be TIF, and it just took a while, and it didn't get certified in time. So I paid it out of TIF, but it really shouldn't have. So now I need to make that transfer and pay it out of debt service, and that was $70,706. The other one was the 1.9 bond anticipation note that we thought we were going to clean that up, and that's kind of drug on. That was paid out of debt service, and we hadn't certified that as debt yet. So that needs to come out of the special projects fund, and that was for $45,600. So the auditors.
And why that amount, Joy, the $45,000?
That was the interest.
That's an interest,
That's an
right?
interest payment. And so we just need special council approval to make that transfer, those 2 transfers.
And then, Joy, after those things clear, then they'll come out of the other accounts again?
Yes.
Is that it?
Eventually.
Eventually.
Once that 3.7, because it will be certified as TIF, so in the future it'll come out of the TIF fund. But right now the TIF fund's going to have a lot more in it because of these transfers back into the TIF fund.
That 1.9, was that the short-term borrowing that we did?
Mm-hmm.
What was the revenue stream to repay that?
Well, I paid it out of TIF, and it should not have. No, I paid it out. Yeah, I paid it out of debt. I paid it out of the debt service fund, and we hadn't certified that yet as debt. So it needs to come out of a special project
I see.
fund.
But that was just interest.
And
then
that was
that's-
just interest on
And
that.
that's actually part of what you're working on right now.
Right.
In terms of getting final,
And then it will come out of debt service. Yeah. Yeah, they catch
Any other
they
que-
catch me every now and then. Which is good.
And why is it that this is directed? This is directed from the state based on what had come out of the audit.
Correct.
Okay, so this is why it comes to you at this point. They go over all of the transactions that the city made within the last year. They catch where these things have come out and want those corrected. Okay, Mike, anything to add to that? Okay, council, any questions for Joy? Okay, not then entertain a motion to approve the corrective fund transfers.
So moved.
Moved by Hallie,
Second?
second by Thompson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Next, council, we have a proposal for a contract on the sanitary sewer lining project, and ask Sean to come up and give us a background on that.
This is a process that the city of Fairfield, we've been using it now for about 5 years. It's a cured-in-place liner. What it allows us to do is line our sewer lines in segment from manhole to manhole without having to dig them up. A lot of our sewer lines have small areas missing, might have the size of a baseball or a small offset or cracks. What the system does, it goes in as like a really soft plastic. Once they push it all the way through the line, then they fill the line with steam and it cures it in place. It's about a 50 to 60 year liner. Some companies that we've dealt with here lately, they're quoting up to 60 to 70 years now. So far, over the last 5 years, we've done approximately a little over 11,000 feet of line in the city, and this time we went out for bid we usually try to keep around that 3,000 feet or so. We sent the bid out, or the quote out, to 6 contractors across the state, as well as 1 from Missouri, and we received back 4 quotes. The low quote was HydroClean, based out of Des Moines, Iowa, with a bid of $73,271.75. This includes 3,049 feet of lining, as well as all tap reinstatements. The quote was also, we broke it down per foot. That's how all the contractors do. That way, once they get here, we have an open to be able to, if we have a line that we can't do, we can take that footage off of it. Or we can jump to another line instead. That allows us to move around a little bit with that. In order from that, went from $73,000 to SAK was $80,036.25. Visu Sewer, $81,451. And Municipal Pipe and Tool, $102,807.75.
Okay. Thank you, Sean. And
Yep.
we'll thank all of the contractors who bid this project. We have a recommendation to accept and approve HK HydroClean, and their bid was $73,271.75. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Hamilton,
Second.
second by Revelinsky. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Thanks, Sean. Next, we have consideration of 6th Street construction from Grimes to Depot. I was looking for Melanie. I don't think she's here. Mike, anything we want to take on that one?
Yeah, we have it here. Before you, council, is consideration of an engineering services agreement for the street construction work that will take place on 6th Street between Grimes and Depot. Basically, this engineering service agreement will bid concrete and asphalt head-to-head. They'll be bid as alternatives, so we could see either an asphalt or concrete reconstruction in this particular project. The engineering services agreement is a lump sum of $9,000 for the design portion, and then the engineering during construction is hourly, and that budget has been set at $9,600. So total is $18,600 for this engineering services agreement for the street work on 6th Street between Grimes and Depot.
Okay. Council, any questions?
Yeah, I have one question with this. Since we're doing a reconstruction, there's brick underneath that. In the past, when we've torn up a brick street, we've offered bricks to either the city for repairing other brick streets that we have, or to the public, because the bricks are usually stamped by which particular location they were made. These may have been made in Fairfield at the time. I don't know. There may be some value in them that way. But is that something that can be looked at in this engineering contract that we have?
Absolutely. We send the bids out. We can retain the salvage right to those bricks. We can certainly do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Unless there's an overlay. I guess it's just,
Well,
and I don't know how much is exposed. Some
I
places we have
think
exposed bricks and some
it's
places
kind
we-
of determined that it's going to be reconstructed.
It'll be reconstruction, okay.
So this will all come out before
Right.
anything new goes in, even if it is
Right.
asphalt, so.
Okay. All right, so we can request that doesn't, that.
That isn't
we
part of this
necessarily need to be
engineering
part of this,
services
right.
agreement. I just wanted to put that out. As long as we're getting an agreement for engineering work,
Yes.
this should be included in this agreement that we're
Yes.
making with them, so.
Good. Any other questions, council? Do we have a motion and a second on this? Okay, so entertain a motion and a second.
So moved.
Moved by Anderson,
Second.
second by Hamilton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Next, council, we have a resolution on the agenda to approve the construction contract for step one improvements. Mike, are we going to recommend tabling that?
Thank you, Mayor. We are, I would recommend tabling this item. We are still working out the fine details on our interim financing. We have a lender, but legally, prior to awarding this contract, we need to have our financing shored up. And so I'd ask the council to table this until we have the details established on our interim financing.
Move to table.
Okay, moved by Hamilton, second by Flournoy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Next, council, we have the first reading of the Park and Recreation Advisory Board. This again is going in the direction of more of an advisory board than a governing board that we have in place right now. You've published and read the amendments or the new ordinance. Is there someone who would like to comment on from the committee standpoint, what is in the ordinance that is different?
Sure, as the chair of the Personnel Committee, I could talk about that. In terms of the first point, appointment, I think it was the mayor's request to increase it from 5 members to 7, is that correct?
Yeah, I wanted to increase to 7. There was, now that we have the facility in place, and there were community members who were, very directed and interested in that area, thought to expand it so that there's a little bit more input on the operation of that facility.
Okay, so that's one change. The term, this was something that committee discussed in terms of adding staggered 3-year terms for each member and then limiting it to 2 consecutive terms. It's similar to a lot of the nonprofit organizations in town, just to encourage turnover and new members over time. But at the same time, you want to stagger that so that you have some continuity. And is it under that section? I guess it's in a later section in terms of the change in the qualifications. There's 1 seat available for someone who lives within Jefferson County but not within Fairfield. So that's new. In the past, it was had to be all Fairfield citizens. Nothing changed in compensation. Officers, did put in a term limit for officers that position of chairperson and vice chairperson would be up to the 6 years, so that somebody could be new on the board. It would be slightly unusual for someone who's brand new on a board to step right into the role of chairperson, but when those 6 years are up, then that role would be passed to someone else. And then from there, everything that was discussed in committees changed in terms of being an advisory board. Then they would recommend a budget, to the council. They would recommend policy changes. They would recommend setting fees. And the thinking here wasn't to add a layer of bureaucracy, but actually to streamline the process so that, just like with all the other city departments, the council then makes that final decision. Since we're the elected body, we have that representative role, and it actually makes the process a bit more public by making it come through the council, which is televised, which is covered by the press when the board committees may not be. So that's pretty much it. Mike, did I get all the amendments?
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. This is a public hearing, so we'll open the public hearing at this time and ask if there is any public input on the first reading. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Any questions, council, regarding this first reading amendment?
I did have one when I
Ordinance.
looked through there. Do we have, is there any, like the provision, we have some information there on the director's duties?
Yes, it is in that under 26060, there are
Right.
duties of the director.
Yeah, but who in the end is responsible for like hiring and firing people?
Ultimately, it would be that if this ordinance passes as written, the council would have ultimate authority through the city administrator to hire and fire the director.
Okay, but the director is the one that would hire and fire personnel under him then?
Directors cannot fire. That
Okay.
lays with the council, personnel committee, and city administrator.
Okay.
You can recommend.
Right.
Right, but he can directly hire somebody. And
Yes.
then put it into our consent agenda, just as we've seen tonight with the
That's
lifeguards. And that's the usual process that we went through for the entire time I've been on the council, so.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Not entertain a motion to pass the ordinance from the first to the second reading.
So moved.
Moved by Hallie,
Second.
second by Hamilton. Please call the roll.
Hallie,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Revelinsky,
Yes.
Flournoy,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Rasmussen.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, council, we have a series of meetings that we're trying to schedule so that we can stay on target to get our special financing done by year end, Mike, is that, or mid-June? So anyway, there are a number of steps that we have to go through, so we are going to need a couple of special council meetings. Again, brief meetings, hopefully we can do this over the lunch hour, but we wanted to suggest this first meeting for April 18th, a week from today. So I get a poll of the council, would a noon meeting be all right if we can get a quorum?
Be better than an evening meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I can't make a new meeting, but if I'm needed, I can call in.
okay,
Same here. I cannot make it, but I can call.
okay.
Can you,
All right.
Darren?
Yes.
So we have,
Tom, so it sounds like we have five, so we do have a quorum, and if someone can't, we'll, but if you would, obviously, just let us know. We can get you online for that meeting as well. Okay, so, go ahead, Mike.
Just a couple items to add, Mayor. This is a result of the impact that the audit and the fraud audit is having on our refinancing. In order for us to refinance that 1.9 million bond anticipation note, which is due June 1, it's going to require an aggressive timetable to get the required legal documents passed through council. So that's why we'll need the series of special meetings. I think we'll need two if everything goes according to plan.
2 before what day?
June 1.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll entertain a motion then to set April 18th noon council meeting, special council meeting for financing.
So moved.
Moved by Anderson,
Second?
second by Thompson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Council, I have one board appointment for your approval. Lauren Town will be filling a vacant seat on the Beautification Commission. So I would ask your approval for Lauren Town to serve on the Beautification Commission.
Move to approve.
Moved by Hallie,
Second.
second by Hamilton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Next, council, will move down to our committee and board reports. Economic Development Committee.
Yes, the Economic Development Committee met, I guess, a week ago. And at this point, things are kind of in the mill. We have an individual who's looking very seriously at developing an area in between Madison and Monroe, south of Madison, I guess I should say. And, you know, it's, as I say, he will be working, of course, needless to say, very closely with Mike in terms of where we're going next. But it's very encouraging. I think that Mike and the city attorney, Mr. Morrissey, will be meeting, Mike said, next week. So hopefully there might be a development come out of that. And he certainly has done considerable groundwork already. And he met with us and sort of discussed what he has in mind. And as I say, it certainly looks like it's a go project, hopefully.
Good, very good. Mike, anything to add on that? Okay.
We'll bring in a development agreement back to the Economic Development Committee for consideration and ultimately council.
Okay.
The
Thank you.
committee, just to flesh it out a little bit more, Martha, if you don't mind, the committee, the developer did ask the city to put in some contribution towards the infrastructure that he's going to need to create there, and we gave him an initial figure of cap of up to $80,000 that our committee would consider for him, that we would bring back to the council for approval. And then, so the next step will be to, Mike will work out with him whatever that development agreement would be.
Okay, thank you. Mike, anything to report in your administrative report?
No report.
Okay, if not, then we're going to have a short meeting tonight.
Move to adjourn.
And the other, we got Michael.
Michael.
Sorry, I did it again.
Sorry.
I haven't had one of these add-ons in a while. So.
We should just put you on the agenda as a fixed add-on.
Always doing
and let us
something.
know when it's not.
Yeah, right. All right, so Saturday I took the Municipal Leadership Academy Part 3 training here in town, Iowa League of Cities. I recommend it to anyone. Part 1 I think most everyone takes, but there are more, and they go into depth. This one was talked about economic development, community betterment, and nuisances, and strategy and goal setting. One thing that came up, though, at the very end was the executive of the league was talking about a recent Supreme Court case that had to do with open meeting law, and it was really interesting. A county administrator wanted to kind of circumvent a situation of discussing retirement packages in public. So he met with each of the 3 supervisors in the county independently, but each meeting they deliberated. That was the word. Deliberation took place in each of those meetings. And so he made an agreement with one, then met with the next one, told them about the other one, and essentially they came to consensus outside of an open meeting. At the open meeting, one made a motion, another one second, they passed it with 0 discussion, and this had to do with the county employees' retirement package. So that went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled that it defied open meeting law, that you cannot have those kind of meetings where deliberation occurs. So just a tip to everyone, I know Mike would never do that, but we're here to meet with all council members independently and talk about an issue, and deliberation take place, that we are in defiance of open meeting law. So just keep it on the up and up, keep it transparent, and you're good to go.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate your report. Obviously, the public trust is what we try to protect in everything that we do. One of the things I learned last time was in a open meetings seminar that the league had put on also, is that discussions after council meetings, just between council members, is also doing something in violating open meetings. So there are very few places where outside of this forum that business can be discussed. So we just be very careful about that again, because we have the public's trust that everything we do is transparent and is open, and it is very important. So now we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Revelinsky, second by Hamilton. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Meeting adjourned.